There are fighters who win, there are fighters who dominate, and then there is Anderson Silva.
People love finishes, and Anderson could always provide a finish at any moment.
Nobody can do what this guy can do.
He's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
And he had achieved that against some of the best fighters in the world.
Got us thinking he wasn't even human.
He's the greatest of all time.
No one was like even close. No one.
I think he's the greatest in any combat sport.
For 7 years, he didn't just beat the best men on the planet, he embarrassed them. He made world champions look like children flailing in the dark. He did things that shouldn't be physically possible, dodging punches by millimeters with his hands down, knocking men out while moving backward, and bending the laws of physics to his will. They called him the Spider, but he was more like a glitch in the Matrix. He held the UFC middleweight belt for 2,457 days, the longest reign in history. But numbers don't tell the story. The fear in his opponent's eyes does. This is the story of the greatest striker the world has ever seen. Before the lights of Las Vegas, Anderson Silva was just a poor kid in Curitiba, Brazil. He didn't have money for expensive gear, so he learned to fight by mimicking his heroes, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, and Spider-Man. He started his journey at the legendary Shoot Box Academy, a gym known for its brutality and aggression. But Anderson was different. While his teammates were about raw power and stomps, Anderson was about flow and precision. He eventually left to follow his own path, fighting in Japan's Pride FC and Shudo organizations. He had success, but he also had setbacks, including a submission loss that made critics doubt his ground game. No one knew that he was quietly evolving into a weapon that the world had never seen before. In 2006, the UFC middleweight division was a shark tank, and when Anderson Silva signed, he was thrown immediately into the deep end. His debut was against Chris Lieben, the Crippler, a man known for his iron chin and zombie-like durability. Lieben predicted a first-round knockout, and he was right about the round, but wrong about the victim. 49 seconds. That's all it took. Anderson didn't just beat Lieben, he dismantled him without taking a single strike. The UFC immediately realized they had a monster on their hands and granted him a title shot against Rich Franklin. In what became a massacre, Silva grabbed the champion in a tie clinch and shattered his nose with knees that sounded like car crashes. In just his second fight, Anderson Silva was the king. Once he had the belt, he refused to let it go. He unified titles, moved up in weight classes to knock out light heavyweights, and treated elite contenders like sparring partners. But the peak of his genius came at UFC 101 against Forrest Griffin. Griffin was a tough, gritty former champion who tried to pressure Silva. In response, Anderson entered the Matrix. He dropped his hands, bobbed, weaved, and looked at the crowd while dodging punches by fractions of an inch. Then, fading backward, he landed a jab that looked effortless but carried the weight of a sledgehammer. Griffin ran out of the arena in humiliation. It wasn't a fight, it was a performance art piece.
It's violent. Oh, that looked a lot like James Irvin. Caught the leg through the right hand. That jab out there. Pushing forward is Anderson Silva. Oh, the right hand. He caught Forrest. He caught him. I mean, that's just amazing. And again.
Then came the villain, Chael Sonnen, the man who talked his way into a title shot and promised to bury the Spider. For 4.5 rounds at UFC 117, Sonnen did the impossible. He beat up Anderson Silva. He took him down, punched him, and taunted him. The Spider looked human for the first time in years. The world prepared to crown a new champion. But Anderson Silva doesn't need to win every minute. He only needs 1 second. With 2 minutes left in the fight, battered and bruised, he threw up a triangle choke. Sonnen tapped. It remains the greatest comeback in UFC history. At UFC 126, Anderson faced the Phenom, Vitor Belfort, a man with the fastest hands in MMA history. The tension was palpable. In the first round, they circled cautiously. Then, Anderson did something he had supposedly learned from action movie star Steven Seagal. He threw a front kick, a move seen in movies, not in cage fights, straight to Belfort's chin. Fedor froze and fell instantly. It was the knockout of the century, a move that changed the sport forever. After that night, everyone tried front kicks, but only Anderson made it look like magic. Hubris. The Greeks warned us about it. In 2013, Anderson faced Chris Weidman. Anderson didn't respect him. He danced, taunted, and pretended to be hurt. But Weidman didn't freeze. He kept punching, and when Anderson leaned back one too many times, reality caught up with him. The king was unconscious. The streak was over. The rematch was supposed to be revenge, but it turned into a tragedy when Anderson threw a leg kick that was checked, snapping his leg in the most gruesome injury in UFC history. We thought the Spider was finished.
I just dropped my body in the ground because I feel I broke it.
Oh, nice. Checked it. He hurt his leg. He broke his leg.
You didn't even believe it. It didn't make sense.
I didn't know your leg broke as soon as it happened. I thought you were just in pain. And I remember hearing the screaming, like someone was being murdered. And then I came over, and then I seen you holding your leg.
This fracture occurred roughly at about this level.
It's just one of those crazy things. In a million years, you don't ever expect to see that. And, this will be a tough thing to overcome and to come back from at his age.
Both bones were displaced or moved out from their normal alignment.
To break someone's leg, I've never done that before, and like I said, I don't want to see Anderson Silva get hurt like that.
He's an incredible human being. He's done amazing things here at the UFC. Maybe he'll want to make a comeback. Who knows?
It's very possible that could be his last fight ever.
He could have retired, but warriors don't stop because they are broken. They stop when the fire dies. Anderson returned to fight legends like Nick Diaz and Michael Bisping, but his final masterpiece wasn't a win. It was a passing of the torch. In 2019, he faced Israel Adesanya, a young champion who built his entire style on Anderson's blueprint. It was the old master versus the young prodigy. They didn't just fight, they danced.
Adesanya takes those toes into the body. Awesome match. What a striking match turned in by Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva.
Anderson lost the decision, but at 43 years old, he showed he could still hang with the best in the world. Anderson Silva's story didn't end in the cage. At age 46, he stepped into the boxing ring to face former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Most expected him to lose, but Anderson once again defied the odds. He danced, he struck, and he outboxed the boxer, proving that his combat genius transcends sports.
Set from the cage to transition that to the boxing ring, that great footwork, that awkward head movement, that dynamic punching and mixing things up, and he's doing just that. It's very, very impressive.
Well, I tell you what, he was my idol.
See that? Again, that uppercut, left uppercut, just coming out of the shoulder roll. Beautiful.
Smack.
See, I think we can see this throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, but if he's not in shape, can he do this for a whole fight? Maybe he doesn't have confidence to fight like this and make it.
Chavez is brilliant in spots, but it's very few in front.
And that is it, guys. We go to the scorecards for this 8-round matchup between.
We won't remember Anderson Silva for the losses at the end of his career. We will remember the feeling that anything could happen when the Spider entered the cage. There will never be another like him. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the legend of the Spider, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another breakdown of the greatest fighters in history. What was your favorite Anderson Silva moment? Was it the front kick on Belfort or the Matrix-style dodge against Griffin? Drop a comment below and let's settle the GOAT debate once and for all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.